Hello, everyone. Are you trying to protect your computer or company from malicious softwares? I've seen a lot of courses and videos on YouTube teaching people how to protect their computers or company from malicious softwares by using antivirus such Malwarebytes, Kaspersky, but none of them teaching you the correct way to protect your computer or company. A lot of malwares and attacks can bypass antivirus, firewalls, IDS, IPS, such some Metasploits attacks. You have to understand that if you bought antivirus for $10, $20, $50, doesn't mean that you're 100% protected from malwares. Let me ask you a question. Do you have any idea what you should do if you got infected by malicious software that can bypass all antiviruses and hide himself from Task Manager and other process monitors? Also, hide his TCP connection? Imagine what the attacker can do to your system. Think about it. My name is Abdo. I'm experienced in cybersecurity. I have 12 years of experience in IT and support services, besides 6 years experience in hacking. Welcome to my course, The Complete Cybersecurity Stop Hackers Volume 1. In this course, I focus on the practical part very much instead of theoric. I will be your right arm and stand by your side so that I can ensure that everyone understands my course and able to protect himself from malwares. The course will be very easy. There is nothing difficult in it. All you have to do is apply in your computer what I do in my computer and focus with me. I'm ready to explain again, step by step, if anyone didn't understand the course. At the end of this course, you will be able to use command prompt to detect and completely remove FUD malwares, Trojans, worms, backdoors, botnets, payloads from your computer, wherever if they can bypass all antiviruses without antivirus. Understand 3 ways handshake and how reverse connection work. Use 2 softwares to easily detect and completely remove FUD malwares, Trojans, worms, backdoors, botnets, payloads from your computer, wherever if they can bypass all antiviruses without antivirus. Prevent malwares, Trojans, worms, backdoors, botnets, payloads from auto-run in your computer without antivirus. Use Wireshark to analyze your network and detect malicious websites. Find and remove those malwares that downloaded itself in background automatically when you visit a malicious website. Detect infected machine hostname and MAC address and IP address on your network. Detect and completely remove malwares, Trojans, worms, backdoors, botnets, payloads that hide their TCP connection activity, IP address, and port. Use 3 methods to detect and completely remove rootkits, malwares, Trojans, worms, backdoors, botnets, payloads that hide their selves from Process Manager, Task Manager, and other process monitors. Get the attacker IP address and trace the attacker location. Detect Metasploit meter-preter migration on multiple process and close the TCP connections. Prevent the Metasploit meter-preter session forever. The attacker no longer can open a meter-preter session on your computer, wherever if the meter-preter payload FUD and can bypass all antiviruses, firewalls, IDS, IPS.
Hi guys, and welcome on the first lesson of the Complete Cybersecurity Stop Hackers Volume 1. In this lesson, I will teach you how to detect malwares and remove them the easiest way to do. On the left side, we are using Windows 7 as attacker machine, and the right side Windows 7 as a victim machine. I already installed RAT here to use it as a test purpose. So I am using ngRAT. RAT I already built a malware and move it to the Windows victim. The first thing I want you to do is to close every browser, and if you are using torrent, stop it. Then go to command prompt, type cmd, open command prompt, type netstat -no, and we can see here there is no connection with the internet. Now let's open the malware and see what we get on the attacker machine. As you can see, we got connection with our victim. The attacker can see everything you are doing. For example, he can capture your windows. If we, for example, open a text document, he can see that you open the text document. If we type, he can see what you type. Also, he can go to your data by clicking File Manager and see everything on your computer. All the data he can remove, run, download, upload. Also, he can remote your webcam. I don't have webcam, so it will not work. He can go to registry keylogger, for example. If we are open a fake Facebook account, he can get your data. For example, go to Facebook, cybersecurity gmail.com. I have been hacked. If you click refresh, he can see your email and the password. He can also open or shut window with you. He can get your passwords if you are saving any password in your browser, for example Gmail or other social media passwords. Now, how to detect this malware and remove it? The easiest way to do is on the command prompt, type netstat -no again and see that we have a connection here on port 1177. If we will see in the right side, we get a PID, and this is important to us. So this connection 1177, it's running on PID 2260. Now to remove it, or just go open Task Manager, go to Process, then click on View, click Set Columns, check PID. If it's not checked, check it, click OK, search for PID 2260, and we got our Trojan. Click and process. If you didn't see it here, click Show Process from All Users. Then click and process. and the attacker lost connection between you and him. Let's log off and log in again and see what will happen. The attacker gets connection again to the victim machine. In the next video, I will teach you how to remove the Trojan or malware or worms or backdoors forever. Thank you for watching. Welcome back to the course The Complete Cybersecurity Stop Hackers Volume 1. Before I start this lesson, I want to talk about NoIP and why a lot of hackers using NoIP. Well, hackers using NoIP to change their dynamic IP address to hostname static. Why they do that? Because if they reboot their router, for example, and their IP address changed, they will not lose their victims. Now I already installed NoIP and set up a hostname here, as you can see, and build a malware on port 443, so I will make it a little bit harder because port 443 is used by HTTPS protocols and other websites like Facebook and many other websites. So this is our malware. Let's get a connection between the attacker and the victim, and we get our connection here. Also, I encrypt our malware from some antivirus, so to show you, even if you have antivirus, you can't say I am fully protected from malwares. Let's scan our malware and see how many antivirus can detect it. As you can see, only 2 antivirus can detect this malware. We have here Secure Edge and Dr. Web. The malware can bypass, for example, Bitdefender, Avera, Avast, Kaspersky, also Komodo, Node 32, Kaspersky here, malware based also, and many other antivirus. So how to detect this malware manually without any antivirus? We need 2 tools here. We need Process Hacker and XNetStat Professional. You can download them from these websites. Now remember to close all your browsers. Also, if you are running a VPN, disable it. Also, if you are downloading Manager, stop it. Also, if you are running torrent, kill the torrent from Task Manager or close the torrent software. Now we are going to start with XNetStat software first. And we can see here we have 2 softwares connected to our computer, which is first is Java and the second is SVC host on port 443. If you click the process info here, you will see that this process is on the temp folder and not on the system 32, which the original path of SVC host is on system 32 and not on temp folder. So the attacker here made a malware and try to trick our system as the process is SVC host and hide his malware. With this process, if we for example open Task Manager, go to process, choose one of SVC host and see the original path, we will see it's on system 32 and not on temp folder. We can consider now this is a suspected malware, and to make sure it's a malware we will use the second software, which is Process Hacker. By the way, a lot of malware go to temp folder, WinDir folder, and app data folder, document, download, other folder. Now let's open the Process Hacker and go to network. See, this is Java connection on port 443 and we have here SVC host on port 443 with this IP address of the attacker. If we click go to process, Then right click on your mouse, choose properties. We find the same path of the software that we considered it as a malware before. If we go to handles, we will see many of registry paths here. We will search for a run. As you can see here, we find the run. Why the run? Because the attacker used the run folder on a registry. So if the victim reboot his system, he can get the connection again because it's on the startup folder on a registry. Right click, click open key, then yes, and we find here the SVC host on top folder and with a complicated name. When you find a complicated name, it is a malware. Now we will remove it completely from our system. First, you have to kill the malware from Task Manager. You can use Process Hacker. Right click and click Terminate Tree, then Terminate. And we see the attacker lost connection to the victim. Now we have to remove it from registry run folder, also from startup. Right click, choose delete, then yes, open the run, go to startup. You find the malware here, also with a complicated name. Just remove it. Click delete, then yes, go to tom file and remove it from there also. Now let's reboot the victim machine and see if the attacker can get connection again or not. As you can see, the attacker no longer can get connection to our victim machine. Thank you for watching. The next video I will talk about how to use Wireshark to detect malwares. Hello guys, and welcome to the Complete Cybersecurity Stop Hackers Volume 1. In this lesson I will talk about three-way handshake and how to use Wireshark to detect malwares. Okay, as we know how three-way handshake work is, here we have Bob and Alice. Bob wants to talk to Alice. He have to use three-way handshake. He send SYN packet to the other side, Alice, and Alice send back response seen Ak, like, okay, let's talk, Bob. Then Bob send Ak, okay, thanks, Alice. Now if the attacker try to exploit Windows 7, this victim, and that Windows 7 doesn't have any vulnerability, so the attacker, if he try to attack this victim Windows 7, the firewall will block these attacks, because firewall by default blocks inbound traffic. I made picture here to explain to you how three-winged handshake works. This is just a simple example. For example, we have here in person as attacker, and the victim is owner of the party. The attacker the Indian person try to enjoy to this party here without invitation. So the party guard, which is the firewall, when see or meet this Indian person and doesn't have no invitation to this part, he will block him and not let him pass through. Now the attacker send a fake malicious file, which is, for example, I am your friend John or something like that. Send a message file to the victim by email. The victim, when he open a malicious file, he do a reverse connection to the attacker on listening port, the client of the attacker. So he opened the malicious file and send a scene to the attacker like, hey, I'm inviting you to join to my party. The attacker sent back seen ACK packet, oh really, thanks. Then the victim sent back ACK acknowledgement, welcome to the party, and the connection is happening. Now let's move to Wireshark. You need to download Wireshark first and download WinPCAP, so the Wireshark can detect interface. I already downloaded Wireshark. I'm using 64-bit to check this. Right click on computer properties and you see system type. I already installed WinCPAP also. I don't have to install it again. Alright, let's move to Wireshark. If you are using Wi-Fi, you will see wireless network or WLAN. I am using cable Ethernet, so I click here. Let's visit a website and see what we can capture, so I can explain to you more. So first of the time you will get when you visit a website will be this get website HTTP 1.1. Generally look like that when the communication setup between you and the website server. The packet come on TCP port 80. As you can see, destination port here is 80, and we are going to try to get of the web directory of the server by using HTTP version 1.1. That's why you see HTTP 1.1 here. Now a little lower down in the center column a thing called user agent. As you can see here, and this is going to tell the server what kind of information my computer can accept. We see this the version of the browser I use for it's 79, and encoder language of my system, my Windows. If we open Firefox and see what version I'm using, about Firefox we see 7.9 32-bit. Now the user can tell the server what kind of information I can accept based on my browsing. Now after this packet, the server will send TCP acknowledgement. We send the TCP acknowledgement to you, and HTTP will be there on how to be used for application layer once. When TCP is done, HTTP will give you another packet says response code 200. As you can see here, okay, 200. And this means that you've had successful request method. Now I already downloaded a packet here, and inside this packet there is a malicious website. Let's analyze it and detect that malware. Let's filter HTTP. You can add this source port and destination port by right click, go to column preferences, and you can click add. Let me remove this, this. And you can change it time from milliseconds to dates by clicking right or go to view time display format and select date and time of day. Now when we scroll down here, we find some files are downloaded when we visit the website. We have SWF extension, MP3 file, Java file, and this and this is application executable file. This is let's go down here. This is Java Java file. Now follow TCP and the host is here. Let's save this host on block note. To make it easy, you can export or HTTP by click file, then export object and select HTTP, and we see here the host and executable files and Flash and Java files here. So we go to the Java first, click save. Let's make folder called analyze. Test.jar, save. So this is the files that downloaded automatically on the background when we visit this host here. .exe .exe. Now I will scan the files that downloaded automatically from this website host. Okay, there is tool you can use to get hashes from executable files. You're going to download it. I will move hash my files to analyze and get hashes from those files. You can go to VirusTotal and scan those hashes and see if they are malwares or malicious file or not. Also, you can detect it manually with Process Hacker and Xnetstat. We got a file here which is a malicious file. Infected. It's the same hash. Another infected file here. So we have the Java file is the malicious file, and this file here also is a malicious file. Now, how to detect which hostname is infected in our network? We remember remember the port, we remember the IP address of the infected website, so we are going to filter our IP.address http get request. We are looking to DHCP request. Go to dynamic host configuration protocol, scroll down. We found the MAC address of the infected machine. If we click on option host name, we found the infected machine host name. Copy value. Thank you for watching. The next lesson I will teach you how to detect Metasploit attacks such Meterpreter and shell payloads. Hello guys, and welcome back to the course of the Complete Cybersecurity Stop Hackers Volume 1. In this lesson I will teach you how to prevent any Meterpreter payload wherever if this payload food and can bypass all antivirus and migrate itself in multiple processes. So I have here this payload Meterpreter and I encrypted this payload from antivirus. Let's scan and see how many antivirus can detect it. As you can see, it's food and no antivirus can detect this payload. Now I will move it to the target machine and let's get some Meterpreter session here. Let's get another Meterpreter session. let's get another session also. Session. Now we have 3 different meter repeater sessions. Now how to prevent and detect this meter repeater and kill it. To do that, I'm using this software here called meter-seek. What this software do is detect automatically any meter repeater session and kill it. Also prevent any meter repeater session, which means that the attacker no longer can open a meter repeater session between him and your computer again. All you have to do, right click on your mouse and run it as administrator and wait. We see session 9 and 8 automatically closed. And if we do sessions, we see there is no session. If we try to get another interpreter, it will not work. Session, wait few seconds, the session will close automatically. And the session 11 is closed. Let's wait for Windows 7 to reboot and we'll try again. Let's try this time only with this period because Eternal Blue exploit caused problem on our victim machine, so that's why the Windows is rebooted. jobs. Now let's open the software that prevent any meter operator session again. Remember to run the software as root. And it's running here. Wait few seconds. And the meter operator session closed automatically. Now let's give it a try last time with Eternal Blue exploit. Set process. This time I will use a different process name so the victim machine will not reboot or cause any problem on it. So let's choose task host exe. Show options. Experiment -g. I forgot to kill meter sick, so we can get meter precision here. It's failed because the meter sick software was running. Now I killed it. Let's wait a few seconds, and now a meter operator session will be open between the attacker and the victim machine. And we have session 13 is opened. Now let's run again the MeterSeq software and see if the meter operator will be closed automatically or not. Right click, run as root, and the meter operator session automatically closed. Now let's try to exploit the victim machine again while the meter security software is running on the task manager. and we see here it's failed. Give it some seconds and see if the exploit can successful or not. You see here those errors because I am running the software on virtual box and not on the main machine. And it's failed again, can't open Meterpreter session. You can get this tool from this website for $300 only, and it will protect you from any Meterpreter payload. Thank you for watching. The next lesson I will talk about how to detect a hidden process and TCP connection. Hello guys, and welcome back to the course The Complex Cybersecurity Stop Hackers Volume 1. In this lesson I will teach you how to detect malwares that hide their TCP connection and their sales from Task Manager. Also how to detect a migration payload on a process, for example Explorer process. So first let's get a connection between the attacker and the victim machine. And we see you got Meterpreter session on port 4444. This is the default port of Metasploit. If we go to PowerShell here, for example, and type netstat-nr and search for port 4444, we can't find a connection on port 4444, which hackers using it to connect to our Windows machine. Now, to detect that, we need this software here called Anvil Task Manager. You can download it from this link. After download complete, install it. I agree, install. Now, if the malware hides itself from Task Manager, you can click on Hidden Process and it show up automatically. Now, how to detect this TCP connection and get the IP address of the attacker? You can choose one of the process just randomly, right click and click Detail Info. Go to Connections. And if we scroll down, we find here the IP address and port 4444 connected to our computer. Another one here. Okay, so let's kill it and close TCP connection. Kill a process. Okay. And the attacker lost his connection. Now, what if the attacker migrate the payload to another process? Let's get the connection again. Now we successfully migrate our payload to Explorer process. Go Connections again, and if we scroll down here to Explorer, we find that there is a connection on port 4444. You just right click and click Close TCP connection, and the attacker will lost the connection. This is a hidden process. As you can see, you can find here a hidden process. This is for the payload on running on port 4444. Is it here? Right click and click close TCP connection, and we see the session is closed. Now, how to prevent this payload or malware or spyware or botnet maybe or worm or another thing forever, so he can't open on your computer again. Let's get a session here and show you how to do it. And we get session here. Now all you have to do, just click switch to process, then right click and choose block process quarantine. Click OK. Click OK. Now the attacker lost the connection between his machine and our victim machine. Now if we try to open the payload again, will automatically kill itself, as you can see here. Let's wait and see if Meterpreter will open or not. And we got Meterpreter session closed. Session, and we got no active session. Let's try again and see. And the Anvil Task Manager block the process automatically again. And click session. There is no active session. It said open, but if we click session, there is no active session. Thank you for watching. The next video I will teach you how to get the IP address of the attacker from a hostname and track his location. Hello guys, and welcome back to the course The Complete Cybersecurity Stop Hackers Volume 1. In this lesson I will teach you how you can get the hostname of the attacker from his malware or spyware or backdoor, worms, botnet, and then from this hostname you get his IP address and track his location. So first let's get a connection between the attacker and the victim machine, then move to how to get his hostname. As you can see here, we got a connection. Now we need a tool called strings. You can find this tool strings in Linux operation system as well. Type download strings, then go to the first link, click download, then OK. I already downloaded this link, so I don't need to move it again to my desktop. Extract it, then drag the malware inside the folder. Hold shift on your keyboard and right click on your mouse, then click open command window here, and we type string. I'm using 64-bit, so I will use string 64. Then the Trojan name, and we got many information here. Let's search for the port and the host name of the attacker. We can see the location is on top folder also. We find here the port of the attacker and his host name. Also, I want to show you something about the firewall, if I can find it. Firewall. And we can see here netch command firewall add allow program, so that program can connect to the attacker without the firewall block the traffic, because it's a reverse connection. Now let's go back to the host name. Yes, and you got here the host name of the attacker. Let's check on the attacker machine. It's the same. Now copy that host name, and then what are you going to do? Just type ping and the host name. We will ping that host name, and we get the IP address of the attacker. Now you can grab that IP address and go to your browser. Type track IP address, put the IP address, then click track IP with IP tracker. And you got a lot of information like the city of the attacker and the country and everything you need. Now, what if you don't get this information? You get it like complex sentences or words, Chinese words. You can use xnatstat as well. And you find the host name. Here is the IP address, and if you don't find the IP address here, you will find the host name. After you find the host name, just copy the host name and ping it, and you will get the IP address, or you will find the IP address here. Thank you for watching. The next lesson I will teach you another method to detect a hidden process and a rootkit. Hi guys, and welcome back to the course of the Complete Cybersecurity Stop Hackers Volume 1. I will continue teaching you how to detect rootkit malwares, trojans, backdoors that hide themselves from Task Manager and other process monitors. So here we have the Trojan on the victim machine and the attacker machine on the right side. Let's get connection and see how we can detect a hidden process. And we get connection. Now PID. I'm using HideCon tool to hide the process just for test purpose to show you how you can detect a hidden process. Now the Trojan is hidden. If you try with Task Manager, you can't detect a hidden process. Also, if you try with ProsXP, okay, this is a problem here. Let's try a process hacker. Search for Trojan and we can't find Trojan on the process hacker also. Let's try a process LSO. Search for Trojan and we can't detect a hidden process by using this software too. Now you can detect a hidden rootkit or malware by using Cheat Engine version 5. Let's open it. Click on this icon here. Click process list long. And if we scroll down, we will find our hidden Trojan or malware. And we find it here. Now, when you find Trojan, you can't kill it on Cheat Engine. You need another software called Sysinternal Suite. Go to your browser. Sysinternal Suite. After you download the software, move it to your desktop and extract the files. I'm using 64, so I will use a Procmon 64-bit. Right click, open it as root. then you will see a lot of monitors happening here. Click File and check Capture Events. Now check Show Process and Thread Activity. Check Show Profile Events. And check the network activity only. We find here our hidden Trojan process and running on port 4545, and this is the IP address of the attacker 41.102.15.13. How to close this connection while this Trojan is hidden. Okay, if you click registry, right click on the Trojan, click edit filter Trojan, click OK, yes, and then click show file system activity, and then click show process and thread activity. You will find here the location of the Trojan, also on the registry, the location on the registry, also on the startup, and here we have the connection and IP address of the attacker. Now we can go to firewall, type the attacker IP address and a port. Click inbound rule, then a new rule. You may find the Trojan here already. Protocol. If you find it, just remove it from here. Then click new rule, port 4545 TCP. Next, then choose a block connection so the attacker can't open a session between his computer and our computer. Click next, next. Trojan, let's finish. Then outbound rule 4545 TCP block connection Trojan. Now you can block the IP address also, but I can't in my case because I am under one router and this is my public IP address. I can't block it. Now to block IP address, go copy the IP address, go to new rule, then select custom, next, next, any, next, this IP address, add, and then paste the IP address of the attacker. Click OK, then do the same in the second section. Click OK, then next, block connection, next, then an outbound rule, do the same. Custom, next, next, put the IP address of the attacker, then IP address of the attacker, next, block connection, next, Trojan, then click finish. Now I don't want to block my public IP address network because, as I said, I am under one router, and the attacker IP address is my public IP address. Now we find here the location. If you go to Tomp and search for Trojan, we find the Trojan here. If we go to Startup, and we found our Trojan here. Now to kill this Trojan, the easiest way, just use Envoy Task Manager as I teach you before. Just double click hidden. You will see window here pop up automatically, ask you if you want to allow this software to run on Tomp folder as setup. Just click delete, and you can click disable quarantine, so this malware or Trojan will not be able to auto-run himself on your computer. Now you can click hidden process and search for Trojan, and we found the Trojan here. You can right click and block process quarantine, click OK, then OK, then right click process, disable process in the startup list, then click OK. Now the attacker lost the connection to our victim machine, and if we try to open the Trojan again, the Envoy Task Manager will do the job and remove this malware automatically and block it. Thank you very much for watching. We have finished the complete Cybersecurity Stop Hackers Volume 1 course. I'll meet you on the next volume. I will teach you how to close all Windows vulnerabilities, also privacy, anonymity, and how to close unnecessary ports that put your system in risk, besides installing firewall and configure it. Also how to protect your computer or company from any zero-day remote code execution exploits and other exploits. Hi guys, so I have a bonus for you here about a software called BleachBit, which allow you to delete evidence files and wipe system emails and other files. So the IT team of presidential candidate Hillary Clinton used the open source cleaning software BleachBit to wipe system so no one can read them. BleachBit is mentioned at about 3 minutes into live on the Fox News television station at 2016. And you can read more about BleachBit and why it's a precious software. We can see here Trump won't let go the Clintons' emails and falsely say the free software BleachBit is so expensive. You can see here the video
DC Bureau with more
BleachBit.
on what could be in these emails. Hi, Catherine.
Well, thanks, Leland. Two sources who have read the FBI's investigative file are confirming to Fox News that Clinton's team used a technology called BleachBit to delete records, and cybersecurity experts say this technology is like an electronic shredder that permanently scrambles the data.
It will not only put that document in the trash, but it will shred it in a way where no one can access it. I believe the FBI would give it their best shot and look for a lucky break and look for a mistake being made somewhere, but it's much, much harder for them. It really is hard to recover information that has been scrambled this way.
On your show yesterday,
So how to use BleachBit? First you have to download it. Just type download BleachBit. Then click on the first link and scroll down. Select if you are using a Linux operation system or Mac OS. I'm using Windows, so I will click on Windows. Then click on BleachBit installer or portable as you want. Wait a few seconds and the download will start downloading. I already downloaded it. I don't have to download it again. So after you download the BleachBit software, move it to your desktop, right click and run it as root. Click yes, then okay, next, I accept, next, install, next. Now click finish. Wait a few seconds and the software will pop up. It's so long because I just have 1 GB RAM on this system and 1 core only. Alright, it's running. Preferences. If you are using Windows 10, you can click on this Windows 10 theme. Okay, first close all your browsers, then just check everything if you want to delete everything like passwords, history, cookies, cache. I will back to you when BleachBit finish cleaning those files. Alright, after BleachBit complete, you will see here done, and sometimes you will see some red lines that BleachBit couldn't delete some files. It's fine, just now close it, and that's it. Thank you very much for taking my course, and if you didn't understand anything, just send me a message and I am ready to explain it again step by step. Hello guys, and welcome back to the complete Cybersecurity Top Hackers Volume 1 course. Today I would like to share with you 11 advice, precious advice that will keep you safe from attackers. So let's start. The first advice is always make sure to download the software from the official website. Besides what I teach you, use a good antivirus such 360 total security. Don't visit suspected websites, unknown websites. When you receive email in your box, make sure to read the email headers, even if you see that email come from Microsoft. Do not open any images or GIF or link that has been sent to you in Facebook or Gmail, Twitter, Instagram, or any other social media websites, because they can hack you by sending you GIF or video or link or image. Do not trust in sandboxes because some malware can bypass the sandbox. Number 7, use virtual machine. Also, when you use the virtual machine, make sure the network attached to net. Also, disable shared files. Also, shared clipboard. Also, drag and drop option. Make sure to update your softwares and drivers, also the operation system, to the latest update version. Number 10. If you are using Windows, close as much as you can vulnerabilities. By the way, I will teach you how to close a lot of vulnerabilities in volume 2. Number 11. Don't trust in anyone.